rock that.
Well, at least I can say I was at least mildly more interested within this episode than I was for the previous two episodes for Boruto, and that's simply because of the fact that there was, actual stuff going on. There was a technical character return, even though I'll explain my opinions about it in just a second. And the guy in the cloak who we've been seeing for a little bit has now revealed his face to the audience, and I think he looks wacky and crazy and all this and that and blah blah blah, and just I don't think he looks bad. And if he's a member of Kara, like I've been saying for a little bit, which he so clearly obviously fucking is, if he isn't, I don't know who the fuck he is. Uh if he's a member of Kara, then only two things can really happen here. They have to fight him eventually, which, and I mean in specific with Boruto and the rest of his group, they have to fight him eventually, and they can't kill him, right? Because he's insanely fucking powerful, and they're not strong enough to be able to take him on to that front, to that extent. So what are they gonna do about it? Because if they kill him, that completely fucking ruins the momentum that Kara, the organization, has going for them, and just everything else, just going with everything going for the organization, for Kara, the group, members of Kara. If this one guy dies within this arc, when pretty much nothing has happened besides them basically going after a Hashirama cell, that completely just ruins any sort of momentum that they had going for them. Now to the character return, the technical character return, and his name is Amoy, and he was supposed to be, I guess, a surprise that we saw him again. But I'm gonna be honest, I saw him and I was like, okay, he's there along with two other members from the Cloud Village, and I was like, okay, whatever. We didn't know his name for a second. Konohamaru shows up, and he's like, oh yeah, that's Amoy. He's, in close relations to the Raikage, and I was like, okay, well, what makes him so special then? Why did they making it seem like it's such a big deal that he's returned, or whatever, right? And then he mentioned Karui and the fact that he's a close friend to her, and if you know Karui, that's because she is the daughter of Chocho, or no, not the daughter, the mother, sorry, of Chocho, and the wife to Choji. And as soon as they said that, I remembered who she was, and then I remembered who he was, but I only remembered one scene that he was in, and it was the scene where, I think it was like just before Naruto went after Sasuke, when he was going after, the Five Kage Summon, I think. And, it was the scene where Karui was beating the hell out of Naruto, and he was just kind of there watching it. And I think he eventually intervened, but that was essentially the only thing I remembered about the dude. And I was just like, okay, why didn't they make it seem like it's such a special thing? And then he ends up fucking getting his ass beat by that other guy, who we don't know his name is, in the episode. And I'm just like, okay, well, that kind of ruined all the specialness with his character, if there was anything special about him to begin with. And the only reason why I found those parts of the episode mildly interesting was because of the fact that we finally see different types of combat other than fisticuffs and with kunai, because these guys have swords, and I only found that mildly interesting because they have fucking swords. We haven't seen, combat with that type of weaponry in a little bit, so I don't. It just kind of felt like it was setting up for a little bit more of what's gonna happen next week, because we find out what those lookalikes, those triplets, are from. They're from the land of Haze, which I don't recognize as a land at all. It might have existed before, it might be brand new, but I have no idea. I just don't really remember, to be honest. They have some sort of special reason to go after and use the Hashirama cell. They're saying stuff like, oh, it's gonna help the people and blah blah blah. I don't know what the fuck they're gonna do with it. I guess one of them died because they kind of made a special thing about, like, the earrings and the fact that one of them had two of them, and one of them was from one of the people that was left behind, and I assume he died just from what they're going off of. And then they did the same thing with one other guy who said, oh yeah, I'm gonna distract the Leaf Shinobi, and yeah, he gave one of the other dudes his earring as well, and I'm just like, what the fuck is the whole thing special about these stupid earrings? You're like, it's not that people aren't gonna recognize you. You're literally fucking triplets. I don't know. It was okay. The episode overall was okay. The animation of the fighting was at least okay. I don't really have anything else to say. The episode was okay overall. And admittedly, this episode felt like it had a lot more going on. It felt like something actually happened and the plot is progressing further rather than the last two episodes, because literally in those episodes it was fluff and it felt like nothing was going on at all. So, whatever. That's gonna go ahead and wrap up the video. I'll see you guys next one. Peace.